Good morning, everybody. It is a beautiful Sunday morning. It is April the 28th, and I'm going to do a first tour of my front garden beds. I started renovating this front garden bed in September of 2023, right before I did the back garden bed. Part of this was done probably 3 years ago. I did part of the bed in front of our garage. So when I started working on the bed in front of the garage, I used a shovel and dug all of that out by hand and ended up injuring my shoulder in the process. And then my husband laid a brick walkway. We found some brick pavers on Facebook Marketplace for a really good price, and he did lay them all by himself. Did a really good job. And then I don't know, a year or so went by, and I decided I wanted to start working on the bed in front of the house. And I did start doing that with a shovel and digging the sod out, but it was just too much on my shoulder. So my husband had gotten some contractor's paper, and I did the no-dig method and laid the contractor's paper out. And then I laid the pine bark mulch nuggets and started putting plants in the ground. And I am still putting plants in the ground. Not as many. I've just about gotten it to where I want it, other than some annual or perennial flowers here and there. So I will turn the camera around and we can start the tour of my new front garden bed. So I'm going to do a quick walkthrough, and then I will go through my plants. Hopefully this won't be an extremely long video. I won't discuss all the descriptions of sun exposure and plant height and all of that. I'll just go through my plants names and the ones that I can recall. In the very back I have 5 sunshine ligustrum planted, and all of those were planted at the same time. These are just, for some reason, slower at getting any height on them. Directly in front of those I have 4 dwarf daydream loropetalum, and these are smaller because I had to replace these. Right here I have a Japanese bloodgood maple, and I think the contrast is just beautiful in front of the sunshine ligustrum. And in front of that I have 5 little lime hydrangeas. I did replace that one and this one because of, I guess, the drought last year. I did try to keep these watered. It was just hard to keep up with all of the plants that I have to keep watered. And all along this walkway I have I think it's called mondo grass or dwarf mondo grass. Over here I have 5 lemon lime nandinas, putting on a lot of new growth, that bright lemon color. And over here I have 6, there's 3 there, and then there's 3 here. Agapanthus. These are Ever Twilight. It's such a pretty color. White on the inside with some purple edging on the out. Very pretty. And right here I have a Cryptomeria. I think this one's the Globosa Nana. I have a label that I created. I'm still working on my labels. I'm taking a break from them since the weather's been so nice. I've been outside quite a bit. There are some perennial flowers I seeded this past January or February when I started them. These are the king size salmon strawflower. And then I have, I think there's 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 firepower nandinas. These are just, they're so slow at growing, and I don't know if I've had a couple of these for a few years, and then I went ahead and filled this bed in with the rest of them. And they're just, I'm not quite sure why they're just so tiny, but they do get a beautiful red color in the fall and winter as well. And then back here I have 2 bobo hydrangeas. I did have one right there where the straw flowers were, but I've actually replaced it. I've replaced it 3 times, and I said I'm not replacing another one. I'm not quite sure why. Just random shrubs decide to die on me, and always in the same spot. Here I have planted some Christophi allium bulbs. I've only got one blooming at the moment, and I think it looks like it's probably stunted. I don't think it's supposed to be quite that short, but I'm not extremely familiar with alliums. This is my first year planting any of them. I also planted some purple sensation alliums that look horrible. They have brown tips and they just never bloomed. Right here I have a Tamukiyama Japanese maple. This is going on I believe it's been in the ground for 2 full years. It's in its 3rd year in the ground. And in bloom is my candy corn, double play candy corn spirea. It's just so unique and pretty. This is just, I don't know if you would call that a dry riverbed, but I put this here because the runoff from that downspout is extremely heavy, and it washes everything. It washes everything out across the walkway, so that kind of actually helps keep it to a minimum. That is another DIY water fountain that I did about 3 years ago, and it's getting time to replace the fountain. This will probably be its last year. The paint is just starting to warp on it outside. It's actually just a flower container, but I bought it to do the water fountain, and it's actually worked really well. There's another one of the Washington Hawthornes that was here when we moved in. These 2 gardenias, I want to say that they're probably Eradicans. I don't think they're the frost proof that I planted in the back. They're just a little bit different, and so I think those are the Eradicans, but they have a beautiful scent as well. And then more Washington Hawthornes right there, and more Washington Hawthornes over there. And I was originally going to pull all of those out and just put something else, because I don't really care for, they don't look good to me. But it was just way too much work, and definitely that one, trying to get that out of there, I just didn't want to fool with it, so I left them. Down here I have a ginger love fountain grass, and a touch of gold holly, and a peachberry heuchera. Let's go up here on the porch. I have in this a Supertunia, proven winner Supertunia jazzberry, some snapdragons, and an Ipomoea sweet potato vine. And my husband built that bench for me a couple of years ago. I don't have a very big porch on the front. I don't sit out here very often because it's extremely hot in the summertime. The sun beats down. So I'm hoping some of these trees that I've planted will provide some shade in the late afternoon. Let's come back around and go over these plants. My husband did a good job, didn't he, on this walkway? So these I picked up at the garden show in in New Orleans. These are the cornflowers. They're yellow sweet sultan cornflower. I love bright yellow. And then I have a dwarf Hamlin fountain grass right there. Very, very slow to sprout. I just put that in the ground this spring. I have another peachberry heuchera, and then some seedlings that I grew. There's a Rose Rhapsody salvia. It is the only Rose Rhapsody salvia that germinated for me. I must have planted about 12 cells, and that was the only one that sprouted. And then down here I have some Asian garden celosia. I also have the daylilies, some daffodils down in here, and their time was up. Right here I have It's really difficult for me to pronounce that, and I'll have to put the name of this daisy on the screen because I don't remember what it's called. Starts with an A. I just cannot pronounce it. Way too difficult for me. And I believe this is called a saxifraga. It's a very pretty little delicate flower as well, and it's just about done blooming. Right here I have a blue point juniper. My purple sensation alliums are down there, and like I said, that's pretty much all they did. They started sprouting before we had a couple of hard freezes, and I couldn't imagine that's what caused the brown tips, but I don't think I'm going to get any flowers this year from those. I have another double play candy corn spirea. Down here I have some peach Dalmatian foxglove that I planted from seed. I actually had a few more. Looks like I've lost about 3 of them so far. Right here I have some Pacific Ocean dahlias that are getting close to blooming. I planted these from bare root as well. This was a free gift at the very end of the garden show that they had going on in New Orleans. And this is my first year with the columbine. I think it's a very pretty little flower. Down here I have 3 blush pink Nandinas. These are all brand new plants, so they're this garden is very small. With the exception of this one behind me, this garden was done first. I don't remember what year I did it. I think it's going on its 3rd year now. But this is brand new since last fall. This is a Proven Winners butterfly bush. It is the Pugster Amethyst. I have 2 of those. There's one right there. Down here I have some Victoria White Salvia seedlings that I planted started from seed this spring, this late winter. Right here is an Aussie Queen Hibiscus. There's a beautiful variegation in the leaves. I will also put a picture of the flower. This is a tropical hibiscus, so I did pull it out of the ground and I stored it in my house over the winter because I did not want to lose it. I didn't want it to die back all the way to the ground. I think the guy at the nursery told me that it wouldn't kill it, it would just die back all the way to the ground. I just didn't want to lose all the growth. I have 3 more blush pink Nandinas. They've really looked a lot better through the winter. I guess they've lost some of their leaves. They're probably going to put some more growth on, but they're doing real well. They look healthy to me. And this is a let me look at the name, dark blue Panther Catmint. And as well, I planted probably 12 cell trays of these, and I only had 2 germinate. This is a swan blue and white columbine. Look at the structure on that. It is so unique. Another double play candy corn spirea. 2 more peachberry heucheras. That's a camelot white foxglove. I haven't seen it bloom yet. I just put that in the ground maybe 6 weeks ago. I don't know if it will even bloom this year. I'm not sure. I know that foxglove don't bloom the first year. Some Dusty Millers back behind it. This is a spilled wine weigela that I had put in the ground last fall, and a cat came in, broke the branches, several of them, and I didn't think it was going to come back, but it's starting to sprout back. That's why that one is covered in wire, chicken wire, to keep the cats off, because I just bought that one probably back in February. Down here I have some Love in a Mist Midnight Nigella that I planted from seed. Right here I have some Ruby Stella Daylilies. That's I planted those before I started this bed. I actually planted those a little bit farther over here, and they bloomed. They're beautiful. Another soft touch touch of gold holly, some more alliums that are not wanting to do anything at all. I don't know if you can read that. That was for my dog, Ellie Mae. Here I have some Lebanon Mist Mulberry Rose that looks like it's starting to put some little blooms on. And I have some whirling butterflies, some Gara. I just pulled out, I had some white pansies in there that I just pulled out, and I put some seeds in there. I believe I put the white Victoria salvia down in here. We'll see if those decide to germinate for me. This is another butterfly bush. It broke off of one of my branches, so I stuck it in the ground. My cat broke it actually last fall, and so I stuck it in the ground and it started to grow roots. Right here I have a Carly Rose Pennisetum. Right here I have a Dragon Prince Cryptomeria. Back behind that are two Let's Dance Skyview hydrangeas, and they don't get full sun. They get a little bit of afternoon sun, but from my understanding, they were bred to actually be able to take more sun than regular macrophylla hydrangeas. Right here's another spilled wine, Weigela. And this is a Buddleia davidii butterfly bush. Back here I have two Hamlin grasses. And then behind that I have three Obsession Nandinas. And then behind that, these are the Cerise Charm Loropetalum. In the corner is a Forever Goldie arborvitae. I think they get 10 to 12 feet tall, so it should fill out that corner pretty good. I think they're 3 feet wide as well at maturity. Right here I have a Strawberry Sundae hydrangea. I've transplanted that twice from two different spots, and then this is its final resting place. Hopefully it doesn't die. This was a rose that I just got from a garden show in Covington 2 weekends ago. The guy that had it, I guess his daughter maybe propagated these, and he didn't know the name, she didn't know the name of them, but it's a climber. If anybody knows what this rose is, please put it in the comments. I love the vibrant red. I also got this obelisk at the garden show in Covington. Right here I have some Everest Carrillo Carex, and then behind that is my October Magic White Shishi Camellia. It was loaded with flowers this winter. And then a container, there's a purple, I think it's called Ace of Spades, sweet potato vine, Ipomea, with a Dusty Miller and a White Lion Shasta daisy. I also had put in a Calibrachoa yesterday, and when I planted it, I broke the stem off. So I am hoping maybe these will grow some roots on it. If not, I'm hoping maybe the plant will start growing from the stem that I broke. But here's the flowers, they're really pretty. I was so sad when I realized I'd actually broke the stem of flowers off. I forgot to go over this one. Right here is a Margaret Truman peony. I planted that from a bare root. And then I have a Sarah Bernhardt peony right here that I dug it up and moved it over here. It was next to that one. I moved it over here, so it does have some growth. I did see some growth on the tuber. This is a Chicago Peace rose. I've transplanted it as well from my woodland garden, and it has a little bloom on it. Really pretty. Back here's another Buddleia Davidii butterfly bush. Look at the vibrant color. And here is something that's self-seeded. It kind of looks like a miniature sunflower. It is possible that it came from this. Down here I have a little giant arborvitae. Just put that in the ground maybe 5 weeks ago. It's doing well. And then this is a cranberry hibiscus. I think it's called the Mahogany Splendor. I propagated this from my Mahogany Splendor that I had 2 of them last year. Pretty nice size. And this area back here I will go over in another video. I'm working on it right now. And in this bed, this tree is called a crater. I think it's called a Crowder Vesuvius. It's a purple leaf plum. And it has been in the ground going on its 2nd full year in the ground. Beautiful tree. Oh, these crepe myrtles. These crepe myrtles have gotten massive since we moved here in 2018. I looked back at some photos and I was like, oh my goodness, these have gotten so huge. I didn't realize they had putting so much growth on. And they're just, the root system on crepe myrtles are utterly ridiculous. It's very difficult to dig around, especially right up underneath of the canopy. It's extremely difficult to dig. They have absolutely beautiful flowers, and the bark is a cherry color. In the winter, when this starts to peel, all of the bark falls to the ground in massive pieces. This is just a little piece of it, but it peels off, and the color isn't as vibrant right now, but it's like a beautiful red bark. So we're going to probably cut these back this fall or winter. I need to get these a little bit smaller. They're just way too massive. They're pretty much covering this house, and I don't like them completely covering the front of the house. This is another container that I, over here beside my garage, that I did. This is the same calibrachoa that I broke off in my other container in my bed. And with another sweet potato vine. These are the Montauk Shasta daisies. And then another little calibrachoa. Let's see, the name of this one is Orange. Colbury Orange, maybe? And yeah, Montauk daisy. And then some petunias. I don't know what the name of these are. Just some various petunias. All right, thanks everybody for walking through this tour with me. I hope you all have a great week. Goodbye.